Jensen, what's the game?
Oh, there's no game.
We're supposed to be in my office.
Oh, well, I took a shortcut and came right here.
Jensen?
Look, you hired me to do your dirty work. That doesn't mean you own me, pal.
I've heard your story. Let's get moving.
Look, I know how badly you wanted to break her down. See, I know how important it was to you. So I set her up for you.
Come on, Jensen.
Look, Doc, Mr. Cord here, he brought me from California, see? I volunteered to break Stella down. Oh, I didn't have to come.
Sure.
I suppose she told you about a narcotics heist, right? Big deal. See, the truth is, I set her up for it. She fell for it. See, she had to. I bullied her, I threatened her, I pushed her into it. Now, I'm telling you, it wasn't easy. You know, Stella's tough, you know. Well, you wanted her. Well, now you got her with the stuff. Stop it! It's not over, Stella! I'll get those 2 years! You owe me! You owe me for those 2 years! You owe me, Stella! You owe me for those 2 years! You owe me! You owe me, Stella! Do we have to talk about grandfather?
I saw him on my way. I wondered what he had on his mind, that's all.
Why didn't you ask him? Okay. Look, he just gave me a couple of books and gave me the usual pep talk about my future.
What about your future?
What do you mean?
Did he have something specific in mind?
Dad, what is it with you two? He's always pumping me about you, and you're always pumping me about him.
Well, I'm sorry, Ron. Maybe this isn't a good time to talk. I'll come back later. Officer. Try and get some rest now.
Okay. Dad?
Would you mind unlocking the door again, officer?
I haven't yelled for you like that since I was 9 years old. You remember the electric storm? You know, after I heard the truth about you and Mother, I told Mrs. Carson I didn't think I could ever forgive you. She told me there would come a time that I might make a mistake, that I would need understanding. Well, it came, didn't it? And you've been here. You're exactly the father I want now.
Well, I hope you'll always feel that way, son. No matter what happens.
What, no matter what happens?
Oh, nothing, Ron, nothing at all. I just meant it.
Wait a minute. What is it? Have you heard something? The sentencing?
No, Rodney.
We can't get a new trial.
Of course we'll get a new trial. Now, hang on to yourself.
Dad, your words are beginning to sound hollow.
Get hold of yourself, Rod. We'll look this thing together. Well, I better go now. I'll see you tomorrow. Officer! Goodbye, son. Goodbye.
Sergeant, everything all right?
Oh, some kind of disturbance over the hospital. Dr. Rossi asked for a squad car. Seems they've got some kind of rough carriage over there.
Harrington, good afternoon.
I just saw my son.
How is he?
I find your concern rather hypocritical.
You'll excuse me, Mr. Harrington, I have an appointment.
I have something I want to say to you.
I'm sure I've already heard it. Look, Mr. Harrington, your son was tried under the legal procedure prescribed by this state. If you want to protest the verdict, there are channels to accommodate you. I am not one of them.
Those channels accommodated you very nicely, didn't they? You bent them to fit your own design. Well, my son was convicted. Do you think that paid me back for the black spot I put on your father's career? Is he proud of what you've done?
I've never let my personal feelings influence a professional decision. I've told that to Elliot Carson, to Stephen Cord, to half the population of Peyton Place.
Accept your decision to try Rodney for murder on the most questionable evidence, the most dubious testimony you've ever taken into a courtroom.
That testimony was enough to convince a judge and 12 members of a jury. Now, if you don't mind, Mr. Harrington, I think you'll understand my reluctance to listen to you lecture on justice. You sent a man you knew was innocent to prison. I don't have that on my conscience.
Fowler, I'm very upset. See, my son, I believe you do have a clear conscience. I envy you that.
Mr. Fowler, you're transferring your call.
Yes?
Mr. Fowler, this is Stella Chernak.
Oh, yes, Miss Chernak. How are you?
I've got to see you. This afternoon.
Is this about the Harrington trial?
I lied. Mr. Fowler.
Miss Chernak?
It's very simple. I lied.
Steve, can I talk to you for a minute?
I know what you're going to say. Save your breath.
Perjury's a very ugly word.
So is murder.
Yeah. Well, she's not going to have anyone to speak for her, so
You won't find anyone who'll listen.
She did confess.
Under rather special pressures.
Look, you know what it's like to be down. You know what it's like to have the deck stacked against you. Sure, it makes some people strong, but other people, they fall. Now that you're on the top, can't you find some way to be tolerant with her? They're taking Jensen in, huh?
Yes.
Well, at least she won't have to ride in the patrol car with you.
Stephen, will you give me a ride to the courthouse? I may even need some legal advice.
Sure.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I don't believe it. It'll hit you slowly, Rod. But it'll hit you.
I haven't forgotten anything. No matter what you may think, Hannah, Stephen is very much on my mind.
I'll offer you the same courtesy you offered Rodney Harrington. How do you plead, Fowler? Guilty? Or just incompetent?